Hi, my name is Adam Flynn with our IT marketing team, and in today's training video we are going to cover how to create a DRP policy from within EASYwriter Pro. To begin, we're going to navigate up to our top toolbar and select Livestock. Next, move down to Application, which will generate your Livestock application screen. We suggest you first start with the left-hand side, entering the livestock application information, and then followed by your insured information. We'll first select our state. We'll leave the date received, insured sign date, and agent sign date as is. As you can see, it'll always default to the current date, but if you need to change that, simply select the calendar and pick the applicable day. Next, you'll need to enter in your agency information. Highly recommended that you select the Agency Lookup button, which generates a second pop-up screen where you can key in your agency code. Next, you can select your agent. Please note the only agents that will currently show up in this drop-down will be agents that have fulfilled the DRP policy requirements to write DRP. Next, you can select your plan, which in this case we'll select DRP. And finally, we're going to enter that the applicant is 18 years old. Next, we can enter in our insured information by either utilizing our entity search or enter a tax ID. For today's example, we're going to select the entity search and search by first and last name. So we'll key in my last name followed by my first name, and we'll select Mr. John Doe. From here, we have all of the required information we need with the exception of the type. Once that's entered, which in this case will be individual, we are ready to move into the policy to edit. Simply navigate down and select your Apply button, which will generate a policy number for you, which we highly recommend that you take this policy number and actually write this down on your hard copy of the application. Next, we'll select Yes, because we do want to edit this policy. Once we've selected Yes, you'll see it brings us into the policy with the policy already open for edit, where we can begin to add new coverages. Before we add a new coverage, let's real quickly look at how you can first add an SBI if applicable for your DRP policy. To the right of the View Entity button, you'll see we have our View SBI. Once clicked, you'll have a new pop-up screen available where you can add an SBI to your policy. Again, if we were to add John Doe by searching by first and last name, you can see then it enters in the information, and all we need to do is select the person type. Following selecting the person type, you'll navigate over and enter in the appropriate share percent, and you are ready to add this SBI by selecting OK. On the contrary, if you need to remove an SBI, simply select and highlight that SBI, as we are seeing now, and select the Delete button. And you'll see that it removes that SBI from the list. Also, if you scroll down under the policy details here, you do have the ability to add a compliance certification statement, again, if applicable, for your insured. Once the appropriate information has been entered per the SBIs and your compliance certification information, you are now ready to add a coverage to your DRP policy. Navigate down and select the Add button, which will generate a new pop-up screen, where again, just like the application itself, we'll start on the left-hand side and then enter in the quarterly coverage endorsement information along the right-hand side. So we'll start with county, which is based on Iowa since that's the state we selected. Our commodity will pre-fill for us. Next, we can select our type, which is our two different pricing options, class price and component. For today's demonstration, we will select class price, and then our practice, or our intervals, if you will. Please note, based on the interval that I have selected, a message appears along the top here letting us know of any pertinent information for this particular practice. In this case, it reads the most recent sales period effective date not available. This is due to the fact that we are keying this policy when a sales period is not open. If you select the arrow, you'll also see a second message that reads selections made prior to the ADM file being available may need to be updated. So in this case, when we are done entering in our information and we commit the policy, we as an agent are then required to come back into this policy once the sales period opens to add any missing information. We are now ready to add the quarterly coverage endorsement data. Starting with our effective date, you'll notice this is grayed out. Again, this is due to the fact that we are keying this policy during a closed sales period. So this is one of those pieces of information that will be required to be added once the sales period opens. So we'll start with the coverage level, followed by the insured percentage and the milk production. Next, we'll select the protection factor. And then since we've selected class price option, we will then move down to the price weighting factor. Take note that the butterfat and protein drop downs are grayed out, and that is due to the fact that we do not have a component price option selected. If component price option was selected, the butterfat and protein test drop downs would be available and the price weighting factor drop down would not be available. So we'll stay with our class price option and select our price weighting factor, which correlates with our class 3 and class 4. Please note the selection we make here is in regards to your class 3 price. So in this case, or in this scenario, the price weighting factor is 75%, which represents your class 3, which means 25% will be applied to class 4. Next, we can add our agent, which again will only be provided with agents that are available to write DRP. And now we are ready to save this coverage line. Take note that the agent signature date and insured signature date are grayed out, and again this is due to the fact that the sales period is currently closed. Once I select save, you'll see that coverage line is generated for us, and we are ready to either add additional coverage lines or commit the policy. And that is how you create a DRP policy and add coverages from within EASYwriter Pro. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to your local marketing rep or your underwriter. Thanks so much and have a great rest of the day.